Hey everyone, this is Michael Pacitto and AI workflows. AI building entire high level accounts is now a thing. It's absolutely crazy. I've been very skeptical of AI for a long time, and I still am, even though I use it every friggin' day, almost exclusively on things. One thing that AI doesn't do very well is it's not been, if you're just connecting high level to an MCP, is it doesn't have full access to all the information that's actually needed to be able to build properly. And I've seen a couple demos of AI building things in high level, and they're all pretty magical, really. Let's just be straight. It's all really magical, but sometimes it just always seems to miss that last 10% of troubleshooting and figuring things out. And I want to show you guys today. I believe that's been solved now. It's been solved, and AI is now at the spot where it can actually completely build pretty much your entire accounts, workflows, snapshots, systems, documented, end to end, everything you would possibly want to be needed. So I'm going to show you that, and we're just going to dive into this process here. So before we go, let's just figure out what we actually want to build so that we can get a little, just so you'll be able to understand what we're going for. So what I'm thinking of is just a coaching snapshot, something pretty simple. So a coaching snapshot system, what are we going to need? Well, we're going to need a landing page, for the program. We'll just keep it to a simple one. And what we're going to have is, and we'll just say it is like a lead magnet order form. And what we're also going to then do is we're going to have email nurturing. And that email nurturing, we're going to go to a sales page or a sales calendar. And then we're going to have from that a paid order form for membership. And once that's done, we're then going to have some onboarding. Cool. I think that would look good. So, and part of the reason I want to go through this process is I want to show you just start to finish. Like I'm not going to skip some steps. I want to show you, and you can see the time on this video. At the end of this video, you're going to see this thing actually fully built. So let's start with that onboarding, and then let's put a final thing just to put a capstone on it, a weekly membership call. There we go. I think that's good. Landing page to a lead magnet, sales, sales calendar booking, paid form for membership, onboarding, and weekly call. Yeah, that looks good. So what we want is something that looks like this. You know what? Let's just screenshot it right here. Cool. And we're going to go to an app, and this app is called Realwave.com. Please grab the affiliate link in below, and I'm going to be showing you. And if you use the affiliate link, by the way, I'll be able to do something special for you. So let's, there we go. So what are we building today? Let's just put in this image. I want to build a coaching snapshot that I can sell to coaches. It should be customizable for a coach that has one-on-one paid coaching, but they also have a paid membership, and that paid membership includes a weekly call as well as coaching emails and an offer to upsell for one-on-one coaching for those that need to go further. There'll be a lead magnet. I'll just make sure there. We have lead magnets that will lead into some nurture emails to push people to a sales call, a group sales call. Let's say those group sales calls will happen twice a week on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. And then the weekly coaching calls will happen on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Also, the sales call will also be on Friday at, we'll say 4 p.m. Just that text going. Anything else that we need? This is a snapshot, not a live system, so it should be set up in a way that is easily customizable to the different types of coaches that this snapshot will serve. Cool. Let's just go in right there. And we're going to see what Realwave does. So it's a high-level builder. Oh, August 11th at 3:15 p.m. So there's going to be a couple cuts sometimes just because we're going to be skipping through because you probably don't want to see absolutely everything. But August 11th, 3:15. So we're going to see exactly how long this takes and we'll be able to keep track there. Cool. See is the thing. It says that. Build in small verified sections. Oh, another thing. I want this build built in modular sections. So our sales calendar, our nurture sequences, our lead magnet, our membership automations, our onboarding, have each one in a modular design so that we keep the snapshot organized and easy to manage. Oh, and it's asking the coaching snapshot. I'll be using the coaching snapshot account. And let me just put some quotations on it because I already did a test of this lightly last night. There we go. And we're just going to let it go. Asking for Eastern time zone. And so what it's going to be doing is it's going to start asking me questions. So the Realwave app is going to start asking questions because it knows what snapshots are. It knows what HighLevel is. I'm assuming it sounds like from what I've seen in some of the documentation that it's been trained on certain snapshots. So it should have a general idea of what it's doing. So right now it's creating the folders and creating all of the modules. So it's already organizing things based on modular system. Now, it doesn't do that out of the gate. That's a little extra spice that I like, and that's how I like building to make things easy at scale. And as cool as you can see the thinking of it there, which is kind of nice. And what I like doing is what I would do usually on with most AIs is I always like watching the thinking just to see where its logic is going. Because if I see any logic that I don't like, I like to interrupt it. But generally, I found it pretty good. Like, see, it's giving me the right feedback. It asked me for the modules. I like that. Yes. All right, let's start building. All right, that is approved. What do we need to start building? Actually, well, let's just say, all right, that is approved. Let's get started. What should trigger the lead magnet workflow is a form, an opt-in form that they fill out on the landing page. Let's just use name and email, and let's give them a optional field with their niche and a list of common coaching niches. Cool. And every time it's thinking through, asking me the next question. Let's see if we can take a look inside and see what it's done already. For the lead magnet, let's make it a custom value placeholder for a downloadable ebook. And let's deliver it via email. That's how the lead magnet should be delivered. What I like about it is it's asking all of those kind of blockers kind of question. What are those blockers that would stop it from building? It could have just started building randomly without kind of asking those sort of questions, those customization points. It says it's ready. Well, let's go and take a look. Is it ready? Go to settings, custom values. Yep, it's already there. It's starting to build already. One thing I've noticed is that it's pretty explicit about saying that workflows are disabled or in draft. It's always letting you know that when it does build things, if it's alive or not. And that's a really good touch. Add the lead magnet trigger and delivery steps. Yeah. Let's just go. Let's see what it gets going. Again, the workflow will stay disabled. It really likes making sure that it's disabled. Oh, it's talking about the workflows now. So let's go and take a look. Ah, look at that in the workflows. So we already have all of the folders and it's starting to build that one workflow. And the other folders, I'm assuming it's all empty for now. But that's kind of nice. Builds out the structure first. It uses a nice uh, modularized format, which I think kind of gives you that structure already. That is 101, the things that I teach about. Tracking, tagging, email. And one thing, you want to make sure that you're not opening up the workflow while it's working because that will screw it up. Cool. It applies. So it's applying a landing page opt-in emails, the email book. So it's apparently doing an email and we're there. Group sales calls. Sure. Let's go and start building. Now, while it's building what's nice about doing modular is like it keeps it really easy to know when you are what you can open. So let's just go and take a look. Now, nothing super fancy here. We have a form. The form is, so it's already built that form out. We got a tag, and the tag, look at that. It's using it's using some naming conventions, which is kind of nice. And we got an email, and it's already built out the email. That's pretty freaking cool. How long should the nurture sequence be? First 2 days, we're going to follow up 4 times via email and text message, and then we'll move to a let's say every 3 days, and then at the end of 2 weeks, we have a remove them from the list kind of scarcity final call to action type of a build. Not my greatest work. Not proud of that, but hey, you know, sometimes we just got to get our ideas out. I'll let you decide. You know what? I don't want to think about the exact timing of things. If you're not, if you're doing this yourself and you're not trying to also present on camera, you can think through that and actually plan. I highly recommend you do a planning process right before. I just want to show you, even with a very limited of planning, what this AI can do. And I'm just, you know, set what my expectations are is that I'm giving it really low details right now. How should we handle SMS for nurture sequence? Look at that. It's telling me the safest snapshot design is add an optional phone field, clear text message, consent. You know what? Let's ignore SMS for now and remove it from the snapshot. That's going to add too much complication for this. We want to keep things simple. Cool. Just putting that in. So yes, if you're doing things, my expectations are that, you know, it's going to get it pretty darn close. And obviously, if I actually thought through a real use case, you know, this is probably way too simple for a real world application, but I think it's going to show you what is possible just even with poor instructions. And just imagine what you do when you take the actual time to plan things out completely. Each group sales call, we'll just say unlimited capacity. Don't use that as a host. Use the user that I created, Micheal Pacitto. So one thing of how this system works is what it does is it adds a user. So how is this magic all happening? So if we go into my staff, the automation works by adding in a user to the account. And so what it just asked me is saying, hey, the placeholder for the calendars, we need an actual user. So I'm just going to put my name in and we're going to go, I think that's all we need. Next and save. There we go. So it's kind of nice too that I've noticed that it does is that it kind of does sort of things like, hey, there's certain parts of the build it can't do unless you do something in the account. Like it can't create users. It's not an admin. So what it did is said, hey, I just need you to do this admin spot or create this user and tell me which user you want. And then it's continuing on. So it's creating the calendar now. one person. And what's neat is too, I've noticed what it does is that it has a process where it builds the thing and then it actually checks and tests afterwards. I've noticed a couple times that it built something and then it tells me that, hey, I built it, and when I checked it, it actually only added 10D per session, not 100, and it's not going to keep it as complete. Uh, so it's checking its work as it goes. Yeah, so 100. Let's use 50. Cool. So it's saying like, hey, we tried unlimited and that actually didn't work. So we need an actual number. Yep. For the end. So it's asking for the first 14-day nurture. Yes, let's continue with it. And for the placeholder email copies, let's use some proven systems like Frank Kern would use, or use one of his frameworks for the follow-up. Well, because we already saw it builds the emails, it builds all the copy, and it puts even the placeholders in custom values. Actually, if we start opening that, we might be able to see that, right? Let's take a look, custom values. See, it's starting to put in custom values as it's building. And let's go back to the automations. I'm kind of curious. Oh, I can't look at them just yet because it's still building that. Yep, still going. Oh yeah, let's take a look at the calendars. Yeah, we got a group sales call. Am I able to touch it yet? Yeah, it's doing the emails, so it should be good. Yep, Tuesday and Friday. Let's take a look at it. That's what I said. Tuesday at 10 a.m. and Friday at 4 p.m. Booking rules, it just used kind of defaults because I didn't specify. There we go. Pretty freaking cool. Now it's doing the workflow emails. Yep, so we got the 14-day. Yeah, it's starting to tell me what emails it's done. Cool. It looks like maybe it stopped. Yeah, we're we're like 10, 15 minutes in, and we already have workflows, calendars, forms, emails written, custom values set up, and now we got a series of emails. Actually, let's take a look. Did it put the emails in the marketing? It did not put them in there, so it's doing them right in the workflow. Can the emails be done as templates so we can edit them without editing the workflow? So it's interesting. It says everything stays disabled. The day 2 to 8 chunk past validation. So it's doing the emails in chunks, and it's also validating them as it goes. In fact, I'm going to have to stop it for that because I should have told it to do that as a template. So I don't want to have to go and then, well, let's go see how it handles adversity from poor operator instructions. All of them have their naming convention match the workflow ID so that we know which emails belong to which workflows. That's another little tip, that little neat little trick I do. I use the workflows ID. So if you have your workflows all numbered with a unique ID, you make your emails have the ID of the workflow so it matches. Yeah, beautiful. It's picking that up just fine. Oh, that's interesting. So its solution, because it has to convert the emails that it put in the workflows and needs to convert it to the templates. So what it did is it said, hey, let's go and create a Google Doc with the templates, copy it there, and then it's going to make the email templates and then paste them back in. Wow, interesting. Let's just tell it do that. So this is still a very early beta, so it can't do email templates just yet. So part of the reason I wanted to do that was, you know what? Let's just pause the template conversion. Let's pause the template conversion and just keep them all in the workflows for now. We can optimize that later. Cool. So there's some limitations. It's mainly doing the main core features, and um, workflows and calendars and forms and those main kind of fields. So let's go think. Now we're on to membership purchase. Next module, membership purchase. Let's do it. So one thing I have noticed, and this is also probably I'm spoiled myself because I'm a YOLO bypass permissions kind of guy when it comes to Codex and Claude and working with that. So this is kind of I'm kind of used to just having AIs that just kind of go long standing, which the average user, these kind of stopping spots and getting explicit permission is probably a good thing. Great, I'll buy out. So it's building that. What should sell the membership? Oh, it didn't show me the options. So let's just say an order form on a landing page. I'm actually curious. Does it do landing pages yet? It looks like it doesn't do landing pages yet. As a subscription, the membership should be billed as a subscription, recurring. One-on-one coaching should be purchased through a payment link on a separate one-on-one coaching calendar. Cool. So I'm just going to update our thing here. So we have a sales calendar for memberships, just so we can memberships sales calendars. And then we're going to have onboarding, and then there's a weekly call. And then we had one-on-one coaching paid calendar. So we're going to have that. And then there's going to be a one-on-one paid calendar that's going to be next. For some reason, the modals aren't popping up today. So it usually shows nice little text boxes, and I just have to click one. So let's just hit a little refresh. See if that's it. Choose the default recurring membership plan. I don't see the modals. Bleeding edge technology is sometimes bleeding. There we go. Choose the default membership. Monthly membership. Monthly and annual. Annual. Let's just do monthly. Default is $3.99 a month. Yeah, something. I don't know what coaching goes for these days. Cool. So check. We are through a lead nurture sequence. Oh, yeah. Let's go and take a look at that workflow. Let's go see what it built. Yep. Quick win. Go take a look at the emails. Quick win to use today. Before you divide too far in the ebook, try this. Write down the single result you want the most. Yeah. It's using a whole bunch of coaching stuff. And it's doing a group call. So yeah, it's going to the group call. And what happens if we select this? Think that should be. Yeah, it goes to the custom value link. That's pretty friggin' cool. No free trial. No free stuff. Perfect. So it's come to another thing that tell me when the recurring product is ready. And I believe that products do not survive snapshots. So since this is a snapshot, we do not need to have a product in there and created. That will need to be created and connected manually on a snapshot setup. Cool, which will also be interesting to seeing how it handles these manual setups, if we can maybe have it. Well, I'll build module 3 is a disabled scaffold. So again, it keeps telling me that we do not need to have things live right now. It's adding saved post-purchase actions and an installation note explaining how to connect the coach's recurring product. That's interesting. I'm wondering where it's putting that. What's next? The member onboarding. And just for that pricing, just to be clear, the $3.99 a month offer after the sales call, we should be pitching the the $3.99 a month membership, and we should have maybe a 3-day, what is it there? Fear, gain, and loss, style 3-day follow-up sequence. Look, after it's oh, look, that after the payment there's an add active member tag, remove sales nurture tags, adds onboarding start tag. So it's already managing a lot of those things there. And we could go deeper. I could ask it to kind of go further and saying like, hey, let's use the built-in field type is a customer or is a prospect, that sort of thing. Cool. And apparently it just did that. Make sure, oh, maybe it didn't get it. Make sure that the post um, sales calendar has a 3-day follow-up to that calendar to the product. And let's just put in some placeholder follow-up emails after the sales calendar date has arrived. Cool. So I'm just going to document that as we go here. So after the sales calendar, we're going to have like a short follow-up. Oh, I never hit. Oh, because it's still doing something. Oh, there we go. It did receive it. It just didn't show it because it was still processing when I sent that first message. The prospect, the leads should. Cool. So it's asking questions, still processing away. And again, time check. We started at what? 3:15, 3:20. We are now at 3:48, and we have built out landing page. Well, we didn't build the landing page, but we have some email nurturing to a sales calendar. We have an order form. Done, 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 done. And now we're on to onboarding. Cool. And while that works away, let's just go and take a look at its work. Interesting to kind of see. We have that lead magnet opt-in. Let's go take a look at that. Going to be a really simple one, I'm sure. Yeah, coaching niche. And then we can have some options there. We go back to the automation. We have purchase. Oh, look, it says connect product. Look at that. So there's a couple things that little small details, but it's doing its best with what I've given. How should group call no-shows be handled? A follow-up for next week's group sales call or the next available one. Let's see how it handles that because those group calls happen twice a week or rebook. So we want some cancellation recovery. Those sequences. Cool. So it's going to do that follow-up. So we're just waiting. So while we are waiting here, because you guys, and so one thing that's part of this that's going to be interesting is, building things is always it's pretty simple. What I mean is it's really straightforward. AI to build stuff in HighLevel was an inevitability. The problems that we run into with AI is how does it manage that over time? And especially if you're managing, you can imagine if this wasn't a single snapshot, but if this was multiple, you had 100 different coaches and you're managing their accounts. What's really cool also about this app is that it's able to do some auditing. And in my tests, it does a pretty good job. But the areas where AI is always going to fumble is if you don't have a very structured way for understanding your accounts and tracking things, tracking the intention, because AIs are good at asking you in the moment, but they're not always the best at being able to dynamically follow the rules because the rules kind of change, right? you come into a new account or you come in with a different perspective on and a different way of explaining things, and you don't always want to have to repeat every single instruction all over again. So my goal with this, oh, which cancellation we cover? All sales call calendars. So my goal with this is I want to see how far we can take this for building. And then, as you guys know, I use PatchyHub for documenting. What we can then do is take this whole account and we can have the whole build that it's done, and then we can look at document it in PatchyHub. So that's going to be the cool part, is not just showing you to build it, but okay, how do we hand this off? I'm going to show you how we can hand this off to a client, fully documented, nice, easy to understand things. And they'll all they're going to see at the end is a beautifully designed and automated thing. So let's just keep her going here. Um, Another thing with these kind of questions is, as you're saying, we're running into a lot of questions. So again, I'm going to probably cut through some of these things in the final cut. Um, but how you can get past this kind of endless barrage of questions is starting to know ahead of time what sort of blockers you're going to run into. And that comes down to just proper planning, right? Planning through, having an explanation. You can even have AI help you. This is what I'm really good at, which is defining exactly what we need uh, for things. And I like kind of going deep. I'd much rather spend 2 hours mapping things out and really digging into what we need accomplished. And if I had done that, well, this video would be 2 hours longer, and we wouldn't get to talk about these little things. So it's important to kind of always remember that I gave it almost nothing. I started this video without fully thinking, other than just knowing that I did a little quick test of how it builds once before, just to make sure that I wasn't going to waste my time completely making a video for you guys. But yeah, so here we go. So it's still building out. I'm also wondering if it is. Let's just go down there. Yeah, so choose the recovery timing. You can make all of these smaller decisions. These are use best practices for a coaching sales call follow-up. So we were waiting around needlessly because it was just, hey, AI, it happens sometimes, right? You know, it doesn't properly show the thing or a message. Yeah, interaction expired. Didn't tell me that it expired. And then sometimes as silly as just maybe it's not even the app, and maybe it's like one of my extensions that has broke it. Yeah, there we go. It's been whoa. Yeah, it's built a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, it just keeps on going. So look at that. Part of the problem. if you're if you're getting too many questions, just tell it to use best practices. All right. So what did it do? The show trigger passed. So I'm going to assume if I come into nurturing group sales call, post call membership offer. Yep, it built that out. As appointment status is showed in calendar group sales call, and it's doing all of that good stuff. That's wonderful. Build it. I guess I could just say, don't stop until you're done. Hey, let's try it and see what it does. Using the best practices for a snapshot template. Only stop if there are major blockers for you doing your work. Let's try that. Oh, only stop there. So let's see what it'll do. Again, we are now 45 minutes in. And not only have we built kind of what we did, but we've also added some no-show cancel follow-ups. There's some of those guys. There's some follow-up sequences. No-show rebooking sequence was actually added twice, and that might have been because of the weird funkiness. But let's just go and take a look. No show rebooking. I actually don't see that. I actually don't see that. I see a post showed booking as well as a no show booking. Let's just see what it's there. So it's stopping. So let's see how it handles this adversity. Oh, it's inside the no show booking workflow itself. Let's go and take a look at that. You go to the no show booking. Oh, yeah. Day 1, day 3. Okay. I see what's there. Cool. So getting it to delete those there. And I do have to keep, it definitely doesn't load the one that I was currently in. Oh, that interaction expired. You can't go back in time. Yes. So let's just say yes. It's funny, right? We said just continue and build the whole thing and only stop if you run into a critical error, and it immediately ran into a critical error. Is that a self-fulfilling prophecy? Is that it? Or cool. So it's fixing that. Fixing that. Cool. So it's recurring there, continuing the canceled sales call recovery. It's checking the trigger. Cool. Then if we're thinking about it, there's a lot of time here. I'm doing a lot of downtime because I'm trying to stay focused on it. You can imagine if I had some other smaller work to do, I could be doing that. And just anytime I see it blocked, work away. Uh, but really the value here is that what's different about this is that my mental load is now no longer spent in figuring out how to do things. It's more about what are the decisions that need to be made about the user experience, right? It's like, what do we actually want things to get done? Uh, and that flow, it's always feels so much better doing that. It's like, hey, I'm making actual decisions, things are getting done, and as we learn to trust it more, we can start doing things like that. And as we're saying, like, hey, I'm letting if we had done more upfront, it probably could have unblocked a lot more. Cool. It's building now. Yeah, the paid coaching final. It's got 4 more things left to do. It's doing onboarding. Cool. Final audit of snapshot workflows. The weekly coaching workflow shell is ready. It's doing a calendar book trigger. And now and finishing the last 2 builds, coaching upsell, coaching emails. And then I'm running. Yeah, we are almost done, ladies and gents, and we are not even at the hour yet. This is pretty crazy. Let's go and take a look at some of those things while we're here. Oh, yeah. So the nurture and group sales. So there's a whole bunch of things now. We have membership purchase. Maybe we already saw that. Yeah, we already saw that one. Are we safe to do onboarding? Yes, we are safe to do onboarding. Did an onboarding sequence. Now, these ones admittedly are all very simple sequences. I haven't thrown anything super hard at it, but I don't really see why it would have any trouble doing some more complicated things. And that's usually where things start getting off the rails with AI when you have a lot of workarounds. I think when you have very specific things that will require workaround type solutions, while I think AI is going to find a lot of those that you might not have thought of because it understands all of the different features and it can just connect the dots. Uh, I think where you might struggle is when you're doing things out of pocket for, you know, where the context isn't derivable from just looking at the account when it's not logically there when there's other things going on. Yep. Sometimes it just needs a little nudge. It just needs a little nudge. Continuing now with the coaching email cycle, and now it's doing this, and then the coaching one-on-one coaching calendar. It's pretty freaking cool. Man, it's super tiring doing all of this AI work, ain't it, guys? Cool. Found one best practice get. So that's another cool thing. It looks like it's It looks like it's verifying and auditing things as it goes. So booking or purchasing should immediately stop sales follow-up. Dude, that's super good. So it's noticing that we already have a conflict, that the sales messages are going to conflict with onboarding. Oh, I have to tell it yes. Yes, do that. All right, it's adding the sales call. Adding 3 cleanup actions. So it's cleaning up actions, I guess, after the group call, booking trigger. So let's go and see what it means by that. We have some ongoing email. So yeah, so we have ongoing coaching. Let's just make sure it's not working in that. Sales call booking 205. Okay, it's not doing that. Yep, so we got a contact tag. Oh, that tag is not there. All right, so let's see it there. So that's going to be there. I'm adding CSO, sales confirmation, when a lead books or rebooks. It stops the 14-day nurture, stops the basically all the things that are in the sales process. Once they become a customer, it stops it. And to be fair, I asked it to do that when I was doing a quick test. This is something I explicitly asked for. And I'm actually happy that I didn't ask for it this time because it actually just picked that up on its own. So that's pretty freaking cool. And it told me, so it built a lead magnet form, the sales calendar, post call, membership offer, no show, cancellation recovery, membership purchase scaffolding, because that has to be done a lot with the setup. All workflows are disabled. The full coaching snapshot is built. It is 4:16 exactly, pretty much an hour. And it's telling me a first setup, what I have left to do: replace the custom value URLs and support emails, connect a product, membership order form and purchase trigger, add Zoom meeting links to all calendars. Well, that one, how about we have that as a, that should be a custom value. That 50 capacity thing, it seems to struggle a bit with that, but that's fine. Consider the coaching price and payment link. And look at that. So what do we got here? So we have, it shows us the full thing it built: lead magnet opt-in, ebook delivery. Can I expand this? Yes, I can. 14-day group nurture call, group sales call booked, the appointment outcome, and it goes down. The membership purchase, membership onboarding. We got a weekly coaching, and then there's coaching emails, one-on-one upsell, and a paid one-on-one calendar. So, ladies and gents, that's pretty freaking cool. Let's just give it 1 or 2 more things here. Make the Zoom meeting links for calendars. Can you use a custom value everywhere that those are mentioned? So let's get it to do that, and then we're going to do something kind of fun. So let it just run. We're still finishing up. So how about this? What I'm going to do is okay, so we have this build. No, I should let it finish. So we're just going to the magic of television. We're going to go and we're going to push it there. Is usually one of those things. Okay, so it's kind of confirmed where it is. Beautiful. So it has them all there. Cool. All right, so now we're done. So guys, what have we actually built here? We got it all. We obviously, oh, we should do one more thing that I think we might do. Well, let's just do this. Let's start a brand new one, and let's go audit my account. Audit the coaching snapshot account. Analyze its readiness to be a GHL snapshot. Are all workflows connected correctly? Are all fields filled out? Are there any broken links that should be filled? And are there any gaps or opportunities that we're missing for an amazing and easy to set up coaching snapshot? Again, doing things on a call, on a presentation. Let's just see what it does. So we've already gotten something. Now let's have it go and audit itself and see what it does. Now I have 2 accounts that are named almost the same. So we're going to call it the coaching snapshot. Okay, good. It's giving us buttons again. That's good. I miss those buttons. So let's go see what it's going to do and see if it catches anything before we go through it and catch things ourselves. And using a fresh one, I'm assuming that it's not remembering every single chat conversation and and not loading those into memory because that would be pretty insane. So what does it say? It says 50% solid framework, incomplete installation layer. All 12 workflows and triggers are disabled. That's not a problem. We're fine with that. Membership purchase has no trigger and it says connect product. That's fine. So it's analyzing it as more of a live account, which, to be honest, when you're working with AI uh, in a build, I can't imagine that snapshot management is going to be the main target for this. If you're building a snapshot, why would you build a snapshot when you can just have an AI that just builds the whole account? Something to think about. Every email is blank from and name and from email fields. So that's a good catch. Meeting locations are blank, group calendars. So let's start that. I get overwhelmed with big giant lists. So let's just start with a couple things here. So the workflows and triggers being disabled is not a problem. I'm fine with that for a snapshot template. The membership purchase has no trigger, and that's fine because that will be built on installation. And funny, and well, have to make sure I have to let go of my voice to text thing. It says that there's no pipelines or reusable email templates. Let's go and see about that. Uh, can you build a pipeline and connect it through the workflows and add a custom value for the from name and from email fields to all of the workflow emails in every single one? And for the 3 calendars with blank meeting locations, check to see if we have a custom value that we should use for them. If not, create a custom value for those meeting locations. Cool. Let's just go through a couple more things. The internal workflow to workflow references are valid. Okay, so these aren't all problems. Point to the correct potential broken ebook download URL. And look, it's already found some workflow gaps. No SMS reminders. That's fine. We set that note for sure. No failed payment, subscription canceled, churn recovery. And let's add the no failed payment, subscription canceled, and churn recovery member offboarding workflows. Let's use some simple and best practice workflows for managing that. And you know what? That's quite enough to give it all in one go. Although it says create a repair plan. I guess I could have also gone through that. The setup placeholders should use custom values. We should not hard code any placeholders. So we need to create custom values like the from name and the from email custom values. Alternatively, we can also use system level custom values or the built-in GHL values when appropriate. Cool. So we're going to make this go, and that's with everything. The first hour, you build 90% of things, and then the next 9 hours is editing things and finding those little stuff. And I just want to go through this process a bit. I could have just said, hey, we're just building something simple. But I think to really understand AI, I think it's important to kind of go through this process a bit so you can see the full end to end what it is. So it says that now why are the draft workflows? The pipeline creation was blocked by a permission restriction. Oh, so it just needs me to do something for that. So let's just do that. Then we'll go to my staff and it's missing something. So Roles and permissions. Does it not get all of that? So it has some things where it's not allowed to touch some things, which makes sense. Ah, look at that. There's some settings that it was missing. And it's probably, and you can see it's mostly things where it's it's mostly things where it's like more mission critical things are left off. There's the pipelines, you and managed surveys. Cool. We just saved and gave it permissions. I just changed the permissions so it should have them now. Yeah, as I was saying, right? I think it's important to show this end to end because it's really easy to show a flashy, oh, look, I built this simple thing. But if that thing doesn't actually work in the real world, that's not really, that's a little disingenuous. So what I want to show is just how does it mess up? How complete can it get? And I think it's a reasonable. I think this is actually a reasonable real world use case. Build something simple, top of your head, start prototyping something, and then just have the AI audit it right after to flesh things out. Right. So, oh, pipeline is now created and verified. Ooh, let's go and check. We have opportunities. Yep. There we go. We got a pipeline, folks. Now we need to go through every workflow and add those pipeline stages so that the pipeline is updated. Oh, look at that. Actually, I just noticed it's part of its plan now that the pipeline is done. It's actually going to go through all the workflows and add the pipeline actions. And it's going to go through all 30 workflows. Dudes, so oh, we didn't have a from name email. Now you have to go through 30 workflow emails. Guys, think how long that's going to take you to do. 30 workflow emails. So you have to open up 30 things, paste, select, open up the action, scroll, click, paste, save, exit out, go find the next one, look around for the actions, click, doing that 30 times. Now it's just going to go and do that. As a time check, we are now about an hour and 15 into the build. And we haven't just built a basic snapshot. Well, we're optimizing it. We're editing it. And this is where you get killed when you're building. It's not building it the first time that kills you. It's the building it like 100 times or building it in the 100 edits, little tiny edits that you have to do. Cool, it completed and it still has some in, so continue. Continue, all right. Full nurture workflow. Guys, I'm pretty freaking blown away. I've been kind of focusing and thinking like, dude, like as inside, I'm kind of super stoked. I can't believe this. Like, absolutely insane. Now, obviously, we're gonna have to do some auditing because there's some things like I feel like there were some tags that were missing there. Oh, I don't want to open up any of the workflows because yeah, so it looks at it's going through each email and then it's verifying each one after. Cool. Going through the group call booking emails update and verified. Yep. Now it's doing the onboarding. Coaching and upsell emails now and fixing all that. That's insane. I can't wait to show you when we audit this guy using PatchyHub and document it. That's going to be insane. And guys, there's so many other things like, again, this is what we've just done in an hour. Like, give us another hour or two to go and find a bunch of perfections. Or, as I said, if we had planned things a little better at the beginning, right? We had done more and fleshed this out and given it a proper treatment. We could have done a lot of really cool stuff there. Oh, it looks like it might be done. Continue. So yeah, this part takes a little bit longer in editing because it's not just building the whole workflow at once. It has to, it the AI itself has its own little clicking to do for each one, right? And has to go and audit and find it. But dudes, not having to do this and just letting the AI go and occasionally looking over and poking it to continue. Oh, it's in these moments I wish I hadn't done that extra little bit of perfection. But hey, this is part of the this is part of the actually testing things and putting it through its paces instead of just voila, it's all done and it's perfect. Don't look at what it took to get there. Oh, let's not worry about those details, those annoying things like the real world experience. Next, I'm wiring the pipeline, so it's wiring the pipeline. Oh yeah, that's going to be kind of interesting to how it does that because it's already built the workflows without the pipeline, and now we're going to go and build. Now we built the pipeline. Now we got to go back and put those pipeline stages in. All right, it's continuing to build. Yes. Now it's doing the billing and churn workflows. So let's just. I haven't been documenting very well, but we're going to say billing, churn, cancellation, membership flows. I'm just trying to at least roughly keep this in our head of what we're doing. Yeah, churn recovery, offboarding, failed payment, cancellation. I didn't have to think and remember to do all this, guys. It's just doing it. You're seeing it right here. Not really doing too much other than giving it the original kind of direction. And you remember just as a reminder of where we started. Oh, wait, this is the audit. Yeah, so the audit's not going to be correct. What did we start from? Can I see the whole one? Oh, wow. Yeah, what did we start from? We started from a single paragraph. And was the top of this one, and then a second paragraph. So 2 paragraphs of instruction. And other than that, the AI has done the rest. That's pretty freaking cool. Now it's the failed payment sequence. Preview is passed. Now it's adding in some reminders. Cool. Let's go dive into its thinking a little bit. Let's take a look. Thinking about how to respond for the user. Kind of neat just seeing payment workflow. Needs to continue the tool. So, oh, look at this. Maybe I can utilize the member support email for a generic ask. However, it seems better to create a custom value for the membership since the user wanted the best practice. Let's proceed with that. So it's remembering that, that I said this is a snapshot and I want some best practices for a snapshot. And it has that. Now, this where we can get a little nitpicky of, well, whose best practices are we using? Because best practices in the high-level world is not universally defined. I think it's defined quite clearly by my way of doing it. I not so humbly believe that my way is best, but yeah. So I might disagree with the AI on that best practice, but we'll see. We'll see if we can find those as we go. So recovery and keep going. Again, time check. We are about at the hour and a half mark. And we have done a whole billing process, churn, cancellation, as well as a full edit of this entire process. And it's even finding, like, if you just start reading through, it's like it's verifying absolutely everything and it's catching mistakes, which is somebody has heard of test cases before and verification loops. Cool. It's about to do the final audit across the 4 new workflows. And we'll see what it's done. Researching. I wish I could see what the researching thinking was. Interesting. It's talking about a tool budget. Oh, here we go. All right. So build complete and verified. So yeah, it's added a whole bunch of extra things to it. And there's the whole thing. So cool, guys. Now, technically it's done. Technically. So I'm going to do something really cool here. So I'm going to go into the coaching snapshot. Now I'm going to go and bring it into PatchyHub. So I'm going to import this guy. And I'm going to bring it in. We're going to call it the coaching snapshot. So we got 55 assets. Continue. We're going to call this the coaching snapshot. We're going to let Patchy organize it. Patchy's going to look at it. Cool. So we have all these guys created. And what is this? It's a snapshot account. It's managed by version. Manage the client account because we're managing our coaches. And our agency does that. So I have in PatchyHub some basic questions that we need to understand to make sure that we get that out of the way so the AI understands how to process things when it thinks of things. So should have just given an introduction. That's what PatchyHub is. It is a context management system for AIs and people who manage high-level accounts. All right. So now what we have is I've brought this into PatchyHub, and what we have here now is it is now documented this account. So it is still going through a little bit of the documenting, but I just want to get this guy out to you. So what PatchyHub has done is it's looked at and it's organized everything that it saw into modules. So you're going to see that it's followed the module system pretty much exactly what we have in there. We have lead acquisition, sales, sales conversion, membership, onboarding. And if we actually go into the account, let's go and see what we see there. Lead magnet, nurture, membership, member onboarding, coaching calls, ongoing one-to-one billing. So we had there 8. It has a couple extra because it kind of decided to break them up based on functionality. And that's okay. I think we're pretty darn close. Now, if I had set these modules up ahead of time, Patchy would have just put it into those modules already. But I just kind of wanted to show off that, we have an AI that's looking at the naming conventions and looking at how things work. And now what do we have here? Well, what we have is, let's actually go to the full dashboard. And we're going to create a documentation link. And cool. So what do we have is the coaching snapshot. And what this is, it's organized by all of these different modules. So we have lead acquisition. And the lead acquisition, it's saying what it does. So it's applying the lead magnet opt-in tag. We're sending an ebook download link. We're creating a new lead opportunity and pipeline. There's a 14-day email sequence that it sends to leads. It's including the group sales call booking link in each nurture. So what PatchyHub does is it kind of understands what is the kind of scope of the module, and then it fits the assets that are in it into there. So this one here has a couple different assets that it's put in. And as I said, the AI is still chugging away at it. And so we can look at those workflows and we can see, okay, so here's the different workflows that we have. And if you want to drive into all the details, like the individual steps, we can see that, hey, look, there's that opt-in, the lead magnet opt-in. So we can see all of the different assets. They're all connected and you can get the AI's description of it. So if this is this workflow here, it tells you why this workflow exists. It tells you a little bit of how it connects into the rest of the snapshot. And let's look, we even have a full technical map of it. So these are all the workflows, and these are all of the, and we can kind of see all of the different things in it. Yep. And so in the description, so as we said there, so we can, this is what the internal view does. We can click through and see all the different assets. So cool. And that's so that is the whole kind of system working. So now that we can see all of these things, we have it documented. We have it in a way that we can hand it off to clients. And we can even see in the documentation, really at a glance, this is how we can manage our account. We can now have an AI that builds it, and now we can verify what it's doing. So if I wanted to hand this off to maybe another team member to audit it, I can hand them this documentation package, and they can, instead of just handing them saying, hey, the AI knows, now there's a way for the humans to understand what's actually happening. And then they can verify it. So this, the way that agencies use PatchyHub is a team member would kind of go through and they would do a manual. You would want to do a manual documentation pass where you kind of click through, we open up the account, we click through everything, and we kind of say, okay, that form, it's connected. Do I understand what's happening in this workflow? But with PatchyHub, you can go to that workflow and you can see really quickly, you can get kind of onboarded to it. What am I about to look at? I'm about to look at the lead magnet ebook delivery, and it fires on submission of a lead magnet opt-in form. It's tagging them and sending them the ebook download link. Okay, so now I know what's happening. You know, I can verify that that's actually what I see. Do I see that? Yes or no? Is the documentation accurate? And if the documentation is not accurate, that's your opportunity to, you know, that's a problem. That's a feedback. Now with humans, it's usually, that's where, you know, it's that accountability layer. With AI, it's not whether they've actually done it, not, it's whether there's any hallucinations and that. And the Apache's AI just keeps getting better and better. And so you can go through and start verifying that what the documentation says matches up with what you see in the screen. And then you can go through it. And if you see any problems, so let's say in this here, this lead magnet, we found maybe there's a bug. We can click here and we can create a bug. So I'm just going to create an update, and a tag was missing for this workflow. And what you would do is you would go and you create a blah, blah, blah. We would saying whether this is, we can start logging it. Yeah, I want this done there, whatever. Oh yeah, I forgot. We got to do that. Release number 1. There we go. Going to create the update. So what I've done is I've gone and created a bug and updates. Now, what can we do with AI? I can just go through and document and see all the things that I've fixed, and then I can take these bugs, and then I can come into Realwave, and I could just get it to fix it. Guys, that's insane. This is an insane working flow. And then once the bug is fixed, you know, the manager, a team member, accountability buddy, the person who does QA in your team, or I usually like having 2 people working. One person builds, other checks the work, and vice versa. They can come through all of these bugs that were reported and logged. They can then go and verify that they were done, because the AI can verify, but yes, the AI is good at doing it, but if it's wrong, who's accountable? We always want to have accountability in our agencies. And so that's it, guys. And while you're documenting, I should just say, just to tell you more about PatchyHub, what you can also do is because this is a snapshot, anything that needs to be customized, like we saw some things like the payment system that had to be customized. What was it? Membership purchase. Yeah, this Connect product. As you're going through, this is a customization point. We're going to want to go into PatchyHub. And what was that one called? That one was called the members. This guy right here. What we want to do is create a little training. I call them training docs, but this is like a setup, and we need to create a product and connect to workflow, right? So this is a step-by-step thing that we need to do to set up, and it's linked to the individual asset. So we're cataloging exactly what needs to be done to set this up. Set up, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. So now that we have that, every asset has a linked version of training docs, setup things, instructions, and the AI understands all of that. So the Patchy AI, he can understand all that. And I'm working on, and I'd love to know what you guys think. I have an MCP for PatchyHub, so there is a reality where we connect these two worlds together, and you have the power of PatchyHub's documentation with the brain of PatchyHub with the builder. I can imagine a world where we just take this list of things, send it to Realwave, get it all done. Human goes and verifies because they're the accountable one. And we're in business, guys. So if you guys want to try this out and you want to see it all, we got PatchyHub and we got Realwave. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. And if you want some more trainings on this, I will go deeper into this. But until then, guys, the future is here and it's real. The wave of automations is going to really come over, and you get the pun. Peace.